All right, all right. Good morning. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to everyone. Hope you all had a great weekend. We're back. Monday morning. I'll tell you something, I'd rather be in bed right now. Did not want to wake up. All right, good morning to everyone. I hope you all had a great weekend. Let's see what nasty NASDAQ has for us. Yusuf, good morning, brother. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate the support. Let's try to get some green today, baby. All right. Let's start with the 1 hour. Let's start with the higher time frames. Obviously, bulls are in control. They've been pushing this for 2 weeks now, holding that level that I've been talking about for, I don't know, 2-3 weeks now. 800 to 23,000. Bulls have been unable to get out of that range for the last 2 weeks, going into 3 weeks now. So we've literally been going back and forth all 2 weeks. I was thinking about it this morning. Really, all you had to do was hold on losses, and eventually it's going to come back up during the intraday. So I think that's something to be aware of as far as the overall levels, the overall range. If we take a look at the 1 hour again, are we just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and just play the bottom and the top of the range? I'll tell you something, if I'm in a long and I get to this area, I'm not going to get excited like I did on Friday and lose, well, not lose, but take a smaller profit on a trade. That other JC, good morning to everyone. Hope you all had a great weekend. I had a good weekend. I had some time with the family. Friday, if you guys remember, I took some losses on the live stream. I did the right thing on the live stream and cut it short. But guess what I did right afterwards? A revenge trade. So I did a little revenge trading on Friday. You guys could tell I was frustrated. On the live stream, I took some NASDAQ, got me good. In terms of timing, I had the right ideas, timing. Then, I got frustrated that I missed a beautiful trade that I didn't enter. And then the ones that I did enter got stopped out for eventually, what happens every single time. You get stopped out, and then you have that beautiful rally. So, got frustrated live and took some losses. Ended the stream, but after the stream, I went on full tilt and lost some evals, lost some accounts. I only managed to save the funded accounts because those had more drawdown, but definitely lost some evals and not happy about it. It was clearly revenge trading, not knowing when to stop. Good morning, iGamer. Good morning, John. Morning, everybody. How are you all doing? Let's try to get some green. The past is be past, and we got a new week. We are in this 800 to 23,000 range, right? I've been talking about this range for 2 weeks. This is now week 3, and right back in the middle. So whatever they're trying to do, whatever they're scheming, if we take a look at the 1 hour, they're building a ton of consolidation. I mean, usually you see a couple, 3-4 days. This is 2.5 weeks now in this range with no clear direction. We've attempted to pop out. We had some look above and fails. We've had some look below and fails, but not looking good in terms of direction. So if we're going to have another day in this range, we'll see. Yusuf, yeah, bro, appreciate it. Yeah, man, it's one of those things. Why can't you take a loss? Why can't you just walk out? I walked out of the stream. I think it was like $1,000 per account in the red. Mind you, these are 150Ks. I had plenty of drawdown. I just refused. I was frustrated on the stream. You guys probably saw that. I guess the saying is the best traders are the ones, your best trading habits are displayed when you're losing, not when you're winning. Everybody can win. You can always make money. It's when you lose, what are the decisions you make? I knew I had some straight to funded, my Apex account straight to funded have a ton of drawdown. So sometimes that works against you when you have a lot of drawdown, especially on PAs with Apex. You get into that gambling mode. Okay, maybe I can risk 1,500 and I'll recover the loss. And maybe it's not 1,500, it's 2 grand. And the numbers just start piling up in your head because you want to win. In your mind, you just refuse to walk out with a little bit of red. I've gotten a lot better on that. Usually my tilt days are spread apart or a lot more wider. Friday, just one of those days. In your mind, you're like, this is a little paper cut. I was down $1,000. I can get over this. Let me just find a little entry. I'll go with 2-3 contracts and I'll recover. It didn't quite work out that way. Yes, the PAs and the sim funded accounts had more drawdown, so they can play with that. Evals, they weren't going to tolerate that. Those were bye-bye. So that's what happened to me on Friday. Fortunately, it was just a couple of evals. Mind you, there are evals that I was working on for a couple weeks now. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. We move on. 800 to 23,000 is the range that I've been talking about. What am I looking for here? They're about to do the gap close. How much time do we have? 3 minutes. So really going to be patient. Are we going to get some type of push up for a breakout? I'm not going to get excited on breakouts like I did on Friday. If you guys remember, Friday had a nice trade, was playing the breakout, and ended up having to close, I think, 15 points below that 23,000 area, which, again, I was in the green, but I think that triggered a lot. The fact that I had missed a trade, or I had the right idea, I attempted a long twice and stopped me up 2 times, and then finally that beautiful play at that level, that just frustrated the hell out of me. But like I said, it's the decisions you make when you're in drawdown, when you're in the red, that will make you a better trader. All right, guys, but we move on. New week. This is week 4 live streaming every day for 3 weeks, and this is week 4 now. So this is fun. How much time do we got? 2 minutes. I start yapping away, and then the market opens. All right, let me set an alarm clock for 15-minute opening range. And I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Ten seconds. Here we go. Let's do this. Hope everybody has a green day, green week. Rohan, good morning. Morning to everybody. Let's do this. All right, casino is now open. Remember, we have CPI tomorrow, so all right, there we go. We just blew through the pivot point, that 950 pivot point. See how far we're going to go here. He's a pushing. We're right there at that 9 pivot point, 950. See what happens. Can we blow through this whole area and just continue? Are the bulls going to push from this pivot point? Looking like it. It's 30-point move right at the open. And we're not stopping. I'm going to try a little short here. That's a level. That's a 4-hour level. That's at 970. If they want 23,000, they'll push right through. Otherwise, we're going to take a quick little short, scalp it. All right, quick little touch. So took a short to the 9 EMA. We're about 500 bucks in the green now. That's the first trade. Let's I'm going to settle down for a little bit. Captured the 970 resistance area. That's a 4-hour resistance area. Shorted it quickly for the 9 EMA target. I was just a little slow on the trigger to get it closer to the 9 EMA, but I'm okay with that. Now I'll let the price action play out. Whether it's going to bounce here or we're going to see a rejection of this level. That was the quick scalp of that 970 for about 550, a little more than 25 points in the green on the open. Now let's wait for it to settle. We got news tomorrow. We got CPI. Over the weekend, we had the Powell threats of resigning. I don't think the guy's going to resign. You had the Fed, one of the Fed speakers, right? Hammock. He already said that he doesn't see an imminent need to cut rates. So it'll be interesting on CPI print tomorrow and what Powell does. We know Trump is after Powell's head, but I don't think he's leaving anytime soon. We'll see. All right, so far, indecision. We had that quick move up to 970, which is a 4-hour level. And caught the initial scalp to the 9 EMA, to the test. So right now in the green across all accounts, about 500 bucks. See what else. All right, so it looks like we're going to flush now be below the 9. So if you look at this from a pivot point standpoint, the 950 area was the pivot point. We always get an exaggerated push, right? So the pivot point is at 950. We exaggerated all the way up to 970. That's where I took the short, assuming a rejection. That short was the open. You're scalping at that point. Now we are starting to break down. In other words, we came to the pivot point where resistance is building. Will NQ flush? But in terms of my levels and where I'm at, big picture, I'm fiddling in the middle here, so I'm not too interested. I'd rather wait for a pullback somewhere around here to entertain the bounce. It's been the play that I've used, I think now 2 weeks in a row. Friday, you saw me battling the level. I had the right idea. I just couldn't find the right timing. Got stopped out twice, and then you had that beautiful bounce, which that triggered me for sure. And it can play vice versa. We can have a play to the upside and then come back down. But so far, like I said, one scalp, a little more than 25 points, 550 bucks in the green across accounts. And let's see if we can get something else out of this today. Otherwise, we're in a very tight 62-point opening range so far. Good morning, Manny. Morning to everyone. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I know there are a lot of streamers, a lot of options out there, a lot of talented traders, so thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you all. This is the beginning of my YouTube journey. I got years to go. This is week 4, live streaming every single day. So plenty of years to go. We'll see where this journey takes us. All right, 1 minute. 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 1 All right, so we came, tested the 9, and this is what I'm waiting for, right? I initially took the initial rejection of that pivot point to the 9, and let's see what the 9 does. Is it going to provide the bounce? Looks like we're having a bounce. Or are we going to flush below it eventually? That's the direction we're waiting for. We came, we did the gap close, right? During the overnight session, we came all the way down to this area, and now the bulls have been able to close the gap during the overnight and into the opening. Good morning, Peter. So now we're trying to figure out what NASDAQ wants to do. Quick, like I said, quick little scalp, shorting the initial rejection of that pivot point. So far I'm up in the green, 25 points, about 550 in the green per account on a quick scalp. Now let's see how this range plays out. Are the bulls going to use now this level or Friday's settlement, that settlement with a C, in other words, the previous day close, as the bounce area for continuation to the upside? We continue to be in that 800 to 23,000 range, 2.5 weeks now, with no resolution. I mean, literally, I thought about it this morning. I was like, even if you're in a red trade intraday, well, you got to have at least a 150K account. Who cares if you're in drawdown? Don't go too crazy. Eventually, it's going to come back because of the way we're playing this range. Just no resolution in the intraday. Well, no resolution for 2 weeks, so 800 to 23,000 seems to be the area. All right, since I'm in the green so far, what I'd like to wait for is either a pullback to this area for a bounce, a push up for a rejection, right? You don't play the breakout until it truly breaks out. And we got to trade like toddlers right now. If you ask a toddler, and you tell them to look at this graph, you know, if the price is here, what is it going to do? It's going to come back down. If the price is here, what is it going to do? Back up. So literally, it's been this price action for the last 2 weeks. Is there any reason we should be thinking it's not going to do that today? No, unless we break out. So that's what I'm waiting for, is push down to this liquidity level, which Friday, that was the bounce area that pissed me off. In hindsight, my tights were too tight. Again, in hindsight, tops were too tight, little impatient, and the one that got me was this trade that I got today. So if you watched on Friday, we had the same move. We had a big move up, and I said I'm going to short this level at 970, at the same level that I just shorted today. Price action came to 960 only on Friday. Let's say around here. So I did not short. Not only did it come back down and test the 9, it was a quick rejection, probably 4 candles all the way down here live. That triggered me. That trade alone, I would have been done with that one trade on Friday. And again, this is where you have to work on your mindset. Anybody can get a winning trade. It's what you do when you lose. I was frustrated. I said, okay, I missed that one, so now I'm going to play the vice versa. Exactly what I'm thinking right now. I'll wait for a level down here and long it. Well, I got stopped out twice on 2 longs, then got into panic mode, and I shorted on the third one. So not only did I long once, twice, got stopped out, then I shorted because I'm like, well, if I got stopped out, it's going to go down. No clear thinking there, just emotional trading at that point. That trade was emotional. And I short and I get stopped out again. So I got stopped out 3 times in this area. After that short, that thing ripped. Boom. So 1, 2 trades gone. That just that triggered me. And I ended the stream in a loss. I think, like I said, I was like $1,000, $1,200 in the red per account on Friday. But it's what happened after stream, you know, the refusal to lose. You go on tilt. There's no, you have to be right every single time. So, lost some soldiers on Friday, some evals. PAs only made it because, my PAs only made it because of the drawdown they have. But it is what it is. We move on, we learn, and we try not to make the same mistakes. All right, indecision. It's a Friday. Man, I mean, I am nicely in the green already on that trade. I'd like to take another one, but I'm going to be very patient. I'm not going, that first move, this was the Friday trade, and that's why I took it. Again, the refusal to be wrong. There's that. This is a 4-hour level right here at that 9. I'm watching it on another chart. That's the only reason I took it like that. It was just the refusal to be wrong on a level. This is the play. This play happened on Friday, and it happened very quick. Granted, this one was just I'm playing the rejection of this level to the 9 EMA, but as we can see, it's starting to build continuation. I'm not going to get interested until we see this area down here, before I get interested. I'm not chasing. I'm going to be very... Well, I always say that, and then you see me either getting into an emotional trade or something. Peter Chan, you lost your TPT Pro account. Oh yeah, man, that's tough. Like I said, fortunately on Friday, I don't want to say fortunately. I was working on some evals. I was pretty close across multiple props that were very close. 150Ks, a lot of work done, gone in a couple trades on tilt. The sim funded and the PAs made it because of the drawdown, but I was not happy with the trading. It's not like I celebrated the win on Friday on those accounts. I mean, I ended up with some insane profit, but it was not good trading, and I have to hold myself accountable to that. How do you avoid that? Okay, so here's the push. Again, we're in the range, right? I'm not chasing this right now. Yes, it looks juicy. Let's see what happens at previous day low. I got burned on previous day low last week, so I got some, that was Friday. So let's see if it gives me a better area down here. However, okay, do we have news? Hold on, guys. Let's just make sure we don't have any news. I don't see anything on financial juice. So previous day low, I'm just not jumping on the gun. This is usually a good level to play the bounce. However, I think I have PTSD from Friday trying to play a bounce down here twice. I'm going to wait for this area first. Usually you'll see me quick on the trigger here. Boom, boom, boom. And that's when I get into some sloppiness. I'd like to wait for this area. If Trump speaks at 10 a.m., then maybe let's just wait. Thank you, Peter, for letting me know. I appreciate you guys. And in general, I appreciate you guys when you give me info on news. I'm so caught up live streaming and looking at the charts that if you guys have info or live data, please don't be afraid to share that. That helps me big time. So I appreciate that. All right, so previous day low, you're used to seeing me jump on the trigger here. Not to say it's not a great bounce here, you just have to absorb a little more drawdown if the bounce doesn't happen immediately. In other words, we can come back and test overnight low or this area, then provide the bounce, which is what happened to me on Friday. You just got to have a wider stop, which is not something I want to do right now since I'm in the green. Also, I can't see the live stream, but from what I understand now, I've added the chat into the visual or the screen you guys are watching. Let me know if it's annoying or... Okay, so we just hit the pivot point and we bounced. I'm going to wait for a little exaggeration if we're going to flush below. So I'm going to give it a couple candles before I commit to a long here. It is behaving the way I want it to on a bounce, but got to slow down a little bit. All right, guys, I will be right back. All right, we're back. So Trump news at 10 a.m., then let's be hands off. We got 15-minute opening range established in about a minute or so. Is this going to be a breakout to the downside with a pivot point right here? I'm not too quick to pull the trigger on a short here on a 50-minute opening range breakout to the downside. Doesn't mean it won't happen. It's just you got a pivot point there. That's a bounce area, right? Pivot points are bounce areas in general. I shouldn't say bounce areas. They're reversal areas is the better word. Okay, so we are getting that pivot point bounce. Let's see what the 9 EMA does here. All right, if Trump's speaking at 10 a.m., then I'm going to be a little careful, probably hold till after the news. And that pivot point bounce happened, where it's playing out to the T. I'm letting that one go. I'm okay. I'm already in the green, so I'm okay letting that one go. I was looking for a little lower, and it didn't happen, so I'm letting that one go. Beautiful recovery. Look at that. Wow. Clean bounce. You miss them, you get them sometimes. Clean bounce. Wow. And again, no surprise. We're in this range of 800 to 23,000 for 2.5 weeks. There's no reason to think until we break out that we're going to see anything different other than the testing of the extremes of each range. So, like I said, I was tempted to long here. It's just I knew that I would have to play a drawdown in terms of a stop in case it did want to go. Same thing on the upside. It's really where you want to, what extreme area are you willing to long, what extreme area are you willing to short, and negotiate your drawdown. If you're going to short down here, well, you got to give yourself a stop in this area. Same thing here. I just didn't want to long this area because of the drawdown that I had to open up my stop. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. This is the same play from Friday. I literally longed at this level, and this time on Friday, NQ decided to push it down 30, 40, 20 or 30 points more, got stopped out twice, and then the beautiful bounce. So it's all about timing. Sometimes NQ gives it to you just like that, clean, beautiful recovery. Sometimes it pushes you down, and it's still the same play, but it's how exaggerated the flush to a level is before the reversal. Also, since I'm in the green already, like if you're just joining the stream, I took almost to the T of this level, shorted that 970 level. It was the level I was looking for on Friday. Shorted that to test the 9 EMA. Quick little scalp. 25, 27 points, so I'm about 550 in the green per account. And now I'm looking for a stronger setup. I'm looking for this area or this area for entries. I'm not going to fiddle in the middle, even though, yes, this was a nice bounce for 20, 30 points. Let's see if we get some more extremes to this and maybe hop on a longer play. Peter Chan, who's on the stream for you guys that are tuned in, has a YouTube channel, so make sure you check out his YouTube channel. He released a nice video, or a great video, warning of Top 1 Futures shady rules in terms of payouts when it comes to trades under 10 seconds. So if you have some time later in the day or in the week, it's a good watch. He has a great video on a payout denial that he's experienced with Top 1 Futures. All right, so nothing too crazy in terms of fireworks. We're kind of playing around this range. We know we're in a bigger range between 800 to 23,000. We're right in the middle. If we're fiddling in the middle, you're scalping, which is what I did for that initial short. See, so we pushed up to test the moving averages, the 9 and the 20. If the bulls, since we've learned last week, cannot establish positioning above, this 9 will push price action down, and then we'll see another move to the downside. So it could go two ways, right? We came down, tested a critical level, the overnight low, or the previous day low, came up, look above and fail the 9. We either bounce here for continuation, or we come right back down. In terms of direction, we're in the middle. Nothing really in terms of direction yet. Not only are we in the middle of an overall range, right, the 800 to 23,000, we're in the middle of the 50-minute opening range, which is about 126 points right now. Do me a favor, if you're new to the stream or been watching me for a while, smash that like, smash that subscribe. Helps me out with the YouTube algo. Us little guys depend on those likes and the subscribes for sure. All right, it is Monday. We got CPI tomorrow. Tomorrow should be an interesting day in terms of movements. Are we finally going to get NASDAQ to move quicker? Although Friday it started moving big time. I thought Friday was the beginning of volatility is back, but we're back to this snail pace. Friday, man, we had some nasty price action on Friday. All right, price action has slowed down. No surprise. We got news. Trump apparently speaking at 10 a.m. We got CPI tomorrow, so everyone's on hold. Mr. Powell, is he going to be right with Fed interest rates not changing? Or is he going to get the boot? I know one Fed speaker already came out. I think it was either this morning. Hammock. His quote was, "I don't see an imminent need to cut rates." So depending on tomorrow's CPI print, Powell may just say, "Nope, we're not moving or changing rates," which is going to piss off Papa Trump. He wants Powell out. And I think it got brutal over the weekend with Powell having to answer to some of the, the headquarters? Billions of dollars in renovations. They're being dirty. They're pulling out all the dirty laundry on Mr. Powell. So we'll see how that plays out. All right, slow down, okay? Let's see if there's any fireworks when Trump starts speaking. Otherwise, it may be a holding pattern until CPI tomorrow. Very slow. So I'm okay with, if this is all I get today, this little scalp here, and walking out with the green, even if it's just, what is it, 550 today? That may just be it. This was the short that I missed on Friday. There was a little bit of, what's the word, stubbornness on this entry today. On Friday, if you guys were not tuned in, Friday, I mean, literally today was a repeat of Friday, just in a shorter range. Friday, I said, I will short at 970, 975. In other words, where I shorted today. Friday, price action came up to 960. Or actually, I think it was like 950, 960. And the flush happened right at the open. We pushed up, same thing like today. Came to this level. It's a 4-hour level. That's why I'm pretty confident on that one. And it went all the way down a little further than this. Because I had my ideas at 970, I realized I lost that short. I would have been done within the first minute, similar to today. Then I was waiting, similar to today. Again, it's a repeat. Friday and Monday are literally the same thing. Then I was waiting for an entry somewhere around here. And I did what I didn't do today. I longed right at this level, and I gave myself a stop, let's say somewhere around here. Nasty NASDAQ wanted to exaggerate the testing of that level and flush down another 20, 30 points. I got stopped out twice trying to long this same area. Then after getting stopped out twice long in this area, boom, beautiful. I mean, it was even stronger than this, right? Because it tested the 23,000. I remember because I entered afterwards somewhere up here on a long and recovered some of the losses. Not all of them. Still walked out with $1,000 in the red on Friday per account. But again, it's what happened off stream and allowing myself to go into tilt. So it's literally a repeat. The only difference, and this is why you still have to trade your strategy as long as you've proven it to work, whether it's 50%, 60%, 70%, that's up to you. Had I stuck to this strategy, right? Today I stuck to the guns and I said 970 is my level. I'm shorting it, and I shorted it pretty damn quick, right? And obviously it's the open. I'm only going to scalp to test the 9. I'm not going to risk anything during the open in terms of volatility, although recently the volatility hasn't been too crazy. Caught the quit scalp. This long was the same long I had entered on Friday. Had I stuck to the strategy, right, I would have had a nice long. Even if you take losses, as long as it happens 50, 60, 70% of the time in your favor, you're fine. Friday was just very nasty. NASDAQ played this level, because everybody's watching this level. NASDAQ just played it a little too trappy for my style. And I got caught with 2 longs, stopped out within 20, 30 points for finally that breakout to happen, or that bounce to happen for, I think it was like 80, 100 points, quick, 5, 7 candles. So it is what it is. You learn. All right, so we talked about coming test the 9, these moving averages, unable to establish themselves above. So are we going to see a quick little fade to the downside? We are starting to see a descending channel. So have to be aware of that. See how long we stay in this pattern. And let's say The reason I'm doing it is I just want to see how strong this channel is. If you short this area, right, this is the support area of this channel. This is the bottom, potential bottom of that channel based on these wicks. Sometimes I predict the future, sometimes I don't. All right, looks like we're popping out or respecting. Very slow, very choppy. I think with CPI tomorrow, we probably won't see. Hopefully CPI is the catalyst to get us out of this 800 to 23,000, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. I would think with CPI tomorrow, we're going to have some type of resolution and finally get out of this 200-point range or 300-point range. Well, it slowed down a lot. This may be the one and done trade for me. Slow. It has slowed down big time. Over the weekend, I published a video on Trade Day, which I've been hearing a lot on social media recently. They've got some interesting product offerings. They have, what is it, end of day, intraday, and static. I think the end of day accounts with Trade Day bring the best value. But I was surprised on the max loss limits. You do sacrifice a little bit of the max loss limits for your total drawdown per account with Trade Day. All right, so we are in a little consolidation zone here. In the meantime, until NASDAQ wakes up, do me a favor, smash that like, smash that subscribe if you haven't done so. Helps me out with the YouTube algo. And we're back to snail pace. Looks like for today, I got a one and done trade. Got my 25 points on this quick scalp right at the open, or not at the open, right a couple minutes into the open. 25 points on one mini. So I got my 550 for the day per account. And now we're stuck in range. We're stuck in the overall range between 800 and 23,000. I've been talking about this for now 2.5 weeks. Fiddling in the middle. If I were to trade in this area, obviously I'm scalping until we get either a breakout above or below, at this point, if I'm going to take another trade, I'd wait for the extreme of these levels, either somewhere down here, somewhere up here for a short or long. Until we get out of that range, I'm not trying to play a breakout on 4-hour levels. You are more likely to capture the reversal at those extremes until we break out. I think the breakout may happen tomorrow with CPI print. Those are usually, what, 150, 200 point moves or prints. Hopefully tomorrow we finally get out, whether it's to the upside or to the downside, and we get out of that range that we've been in for 2.5 weeks. It's crazy. But I'm okay if it's a one and done trade day for me. Quick little scalp at the open. If that's all I get, that's all I get. No big deal. But I am watching for another one. At the extremes though. Up here or down here. Not in the middle. I'm not fiddling in the middle or trying to scalp. Well, looks like that's all we got for today, at least for now. Appreciate you all tuning in. For those of you that are using that code JCDT with your prop firm purchases, I appreciate you. That does support it supports the channel, and you get a nice little discount on your prop firm evals and accounts. So thank you, and make sure to use code JCDT on checkout on, I think, most prop firms now. There's only a few that I haven't affiliated with yet. Eventually I will. I am eyeing Prop Shop. I hear a lot of good things on Prop Shop from traders. I hear a lot of bad things on Prop Shop in social media. So you got to balance it out, right? There's a lot of toxic social media. The Prop Shop, I am watching behind the scenes. I may open an account soon with them, but I've heard great payouts, quick payouts, and the leverage of 20 accounts. Initially, I thought with Prop Shop that you weren't able to copy trade. In other words, I thought Prop Shop allowed you to have 20 accounts, but you had to trade them differently. Apparently, my thoughts were wrong, and you can copy trade Prop Shop multiple accounts with the same trades. Which is huge. It's similar to Apex. So I'll be taking a look at Prop Shop in the next couple of weeks and maybe open an account or two and test them out. All right, so we're in this little consolidation area, attempting to break out to the upside. Let's see what that upside means. But it is slow. All right, any news that we should be taking a look at right now? All right, we just got an interesting news drop. Let's take a look at this real quick. Here we go. Dow ticks higher as investors bet Trump's tariffs will be lowered. Trump's 30% tariff letter leaves EU scrambling to bring US on side. Okay, so it looks like So Trump looking to drop tariffs? Wow. He's reversing on his whole tariff play. I think with tomorrow's CPI, we'll get a better idea of how all of this is going to play out. For now, it's a holding pattern. Peter Chan, gonna long at 280 at pivot point 30-minute chart. So I think you mean 920? 280? Oh, 820. 820, I think is what you mean, right? Yeah, same thing as I've mentioned. I'm waiting for a stronger extreme. I'd like the extreme down here to long or the extreme on this high side to short. Oh, 940. So you're playing the breakout. Got it. You're playing the breakout to the upside on that pivot point. Okay, so initial rejection at that pivot point. Problem with that pivot point is you have some serious moving averages, right? You have the 200 SMA, which is not a friendly one. To blow through a 200 SMA, you need momentum and you need catalyst. Initial rejection right at the 200 SMA, which is at 945. Doesn't mean it won't blow through. It's got to build some consolidation and eventually blow through. But we haven't been able to hold above the 200 SMA on higher time frames for too long. Doesn't mean it can't happen today. Here's the breakout for Peter. Let's go. And this would be a pivot point breakout to the upside. And let me fix my overnight high. Overnight high was set right before the open. Right here, this is the overnight high, the 629 candle. Boom. Okay, so they closed the gap during the overnight session. This is settlement from Friday, previous day close, and now they're using this area for a potential bounce to the upside. So we came back, tested the previous day low, bounced off of there pretty strongly, consolidated around the previous day close, and now it looks like we're using Friday's levels to the upside. Peter, nicely done. Got your 6 points. Good job. So what am I waiting for? I'm waiting for the extremes. I'm waiting for the extreme of this high or the extreme of this low for a potential reversal. We've been in this 800 to 2300 range for some time. Until we break out, no reason to, at least yet, think about playing a breakout. I mean, you can scalp it, but I'm watching for reversals on the extremes of this range. So far, if you're tuning in, I took a quick little scalp. I got my 25 points here, scalping the high of this 4-hour range around 970, and got my 25 points. We'll see if there's something else, but we're right in the middle of a range. I don't want to fiddle in the middle on a second trade. Second trade, I'd like to be a little more juicy, somewhere up here or down here for a potential reversal. Bulls do seem like they're picking up steam at that pivot point. They did not reject the second time. So we flushed below the pivot point at 945, 950. We came and tested it, consolidated for a little bit, and now we're breaking out to the upside above that pivot point. I want to wait to see how NQ moves today. Friday and most of last week, we saw these big moves and then quick move down and quick move up. I mean, Friday was brutal. So I don't want to get caught, especially if I'm in the green already. I don't want to get caught chasing this. Let's see how it behaves at the extremes. And with CPI news tomorrow, I guess, is this anything related to Trump speaking right now? It's probably related to the rumor right now that tariffs will be lowered. So that could drive pricing high pretty quickly. There may be a chase trade here. U.S. stocks are poised to extend a retreat from an all-time high after the Trump administration amplified its trade war. The risk-off tone stopped short of cryptocurrencies, with Bitcoin surging past 120K. Wow, Bitcoin past 120K? Damn. All right, we got a little bounce going. All right, guys, I'll be right back. A little coffee break. All right. Nasty NASDAQ in this 15-minute opening range, 126 points. Let's see what it does up here. For me, it's looking like a one-and-done trade. I took that quick scalp. If you're just tuning in so far, one quick scalp at the open, shorting that 4-hour 970 level for a quick 25 points. Was literally within the first minute of the open. And now waiting for extremes to be touched for potential reversal plays. But I'm in the green, so I can get picky. Ooh, look at this. They're pushing this up. Is that all this tariff news? Oh, man, it gets tempting. It's tempting. So is this the 15-minute opening range breakout play? Let's see if the orb players get their breakout or it's another fake out. They've been faked out a couple times. Eventually it plays out, but there's been some pretty harsh pullbacks on breakouts to the upside on that orb. But if this tariff news is going to push pricing higher today, I got to figure out if I want to participate on the upside. Or call it a day with 25-point trade so far. If you're new to the stream, or if you've been watching for a while, do me a favor, smash that like. Helps me out with the YouTube algo. So far, if you just joined the stream, I took one quick scalp for 25 points right around the open. Shorted that 970 area, which is a 4-hour critical level, for a quick scalp to the test of the 9 EMA. Hey, looks like the orb players are going to get their breakout today. All right, let's see how long we stay in this ascending channel. It's been grinding for that opening breakout. Wow, Bitcoin 120K. Wow. So I wonder if that could be the warning of potential downside on markets. Huh. It's a big week, CPI. Mr. Powell and his interest rates. Or Powell getting fired. Trump is after him for sure. All right, so we tested that 50-minute opening range high. Not given the clean breakout just yet on the orb. Still in this range, man. Still in this range. So far, if you're just tuning in, I got one trade in the green, 25 points. Right off the open, so it may be a one and done trade. Let's see if I can capture something else. But I'd like to play the extremes of this $800 to $23,000 range. All right, taking a little pullback here, probably to test that pivot point at 950. So far, if we look at the open, we've gone nowhere. What was the 630 candle? 630 open was 942. We've gone nowhere. NASDAQ going nowhere today. Still in this damn range. So as I said earlier today, or literally all week, all you have to do was either long or short somewhere in the middle. If it went against you, don't worry, you're in a range, hold. It's eventually going to pop above your break even and give you some points to the upside, and vice versa. It's literally not getting stuck on the extremes in the wrong direction. Otherwise, you'd be fine. Absorbing some drawdown, but fine. All right, NASDAQ came up to that pivot point and starting to reject. That's that 950. Little exaggerated push above the pivot point. So far, it's a 2 look above and fails. So unable to position, at least so far, above 950. With 2 quick look above and fails. Now this could be testing. I don't know about testing. We're below pivot point at this point. You could see the bounce, an exaggerated test. We'll see. No opening range breakout yet. Tempted for about 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes up here and then came right back down. Will it bounce here at the 200 SMA and the pivot point to eventually give us the bounce to the upside? We shall find out. All right, NASDAQ really slow. We've gone nowhere since the open. So for me, like I said, I already got my 25 points in the green. This may be it for me as far as trading one and done, unless we get to some of the extremes up here or down here. It's right in the middle of that 800 to 23,000 range. So if I were to trade, it's scalping. Not sure if I really want to scalp at this type of price action. But it looks like she is failing at that pivot point. All right, she's pushing. Hasn't gone anywhere since the open. We're right back. Well, let's see if now this is the move to the downside. We saw this on Friday, just a little more violent on Friday. Friday, the moves were a little harsher. We finally saw some 20, 30 point 1 minute candles on Friday, and I thought that was the sign of volatility is coming back. Now it's slowed down a bit. All right, here we go. We got some, what is that, a 10, 9, 922. Got a 15 point candle. Still nothing too crazy. Right in the middle of the 15-minute opening range. Are we going to break out to the upside or the downside? Chat, what do you guys think? Are we breaking out to the upside of that 15-minute orb, or are we breaking down? Manny Trends, we're going down. Peter Chan, we're going up. What do I think? Well, for me, I don't care if it goes up or down. I just want it to come to these levels. But if I were a betting man, today, where are all your moving averages? I think we'll end up on the high side of this range. Manny, you got a good point. Potential higher low being established. If the bulls are going to finally break out of this level, you're right. You'd have to establish a higher low. But man, this is slow. This is slow. It's definitely scalping. And I scalp. I like to scalp. It's just recently I've tried to get juicier 20, not 20, 30, 40 point plays after the initial move during the open. During the open, you'll see me scalp quickly for 20, sometimes even 10 points. And then afterwards, I like to play, potentially capture 30, 40 points. It's cost me because I've been in trades 20, 30 points in the green looking for a 40 point or 50 point play that eventually reverses. So lately, it's been a scalper's game. And summer trading indeed, Manny. It's slow down. Wall Street's in the Hamptons, enjoying the beach, the weather. And with CPI tomorrow, we may be in this holding pattern for the rest of the day or a good part of the day. Yeah, we just haven't had big ranges with NQ lately. When I say lately, a couple weeks now. So it's been scalper's paradise. I've had to adjust. I've been in trades, some of them on live, going for 30, 50 points, where I should have closed at 25 or even 30. because the range is just not there. It's going to eventually reverse and potentially then lose the entire play. So even I've adapted. I've had to. You've seen some scalps on the live stream. Well, today was a clear one. I didn't even want to risk the entire play because I don't trust the NASDAQ right now. And shorted here for a quick test of the 9 EMA, 25 points. Then you had some little consolidation, and then the play that usually happens quickly at the open. It's just been very, very trappy. This is the consolidation that I got caught on Friday trying to long this level on Friday. Ooh, I paid dearly on that. I still have PTSD from Friday. Friday I got stuck in just a little off on the timing, tight stops. And because I got stopped out, right idea. I mean, eventually the long played out for like 100 points, but I got triggered. And I still have to work on that. How do you walk out with... Friday I had what? $1,200 in the red. I had a $1,200 loss in the red. I was down $2,200. Remember, if you guys remember, well, if you tuned in or didn't tune in, I'll go over Friday's trading. Friday, same thing as today, right? We were looking at this 970 level to short, the same level that I shorted today. Friday, it only came up to around, I think, 960, and then took a beautiful flush. I missed that trade, so right there I got triggered. Then, same thing here. It came to this level. I longed it right around here. Nasty NASDAQ decided to flush another 20, 30 points, and I got stopped out twice trying to long. So now, I missed the initial short. I missed 2 attempts. Now I'm frustrated. I'm going into tilt, and that bounce happened 100 points clean. I mean, it was a clean bounce, and obviously I let it go. I didn't want to chase it, but that triggered me afterwards to create some damage into these accounts. I think I was down about $2,000 per account with the trades leading into this long. Eventually captured a long, let's say somewhere around here for about, I think 45 or 50 points. So I recovered and then took some other trades and right back to $1,000 in the red. Ended the stream. What I should have done is closed everything, just walk out with $1,200 in the red, and I made it worse off stream by going tilt. I was not wanting to accept the red day for whatever reason. Most of the time that you do that, it's because you've been rewarded in the past recovering with some questionable trading, right? Over leveraging, you're putting in more contract size to recover. And since you get rewarded and you get it, eventually there's going to be that day that you don't, and you blow accounts. Fortunately, I didn't damage the sim funded accounts or the funded accounts, but I did do some damage to the evals. Not too proud of that. Not too proud of my tilt day on Friday. But you move on. We're back to Monday. We caught a nice little initial trade, 25 points. That's so far my one and done trade. I'm waiting for extremes up here or down here to make decisions on another trade, but I'm not fiddling here in the middle. I don't want to scalp this. I just don't trust NASDAQ right now. I was talking to some trader buddies. So I connect, I text with a couple of you guys and other people, other traders, and I strongly recommend everybody should have someone to talk to when you blow accounts or even on good days. But the common theme for Friday, a couple of my buddies lost. I wasn't the only one. And it's how do you just walk out? I have 150K accounts. Why couldn't I just walk out with a loss of $1,200 per account? Why do you get into that mindset? I can recover this. I'm going to win today. And if you if you trade, and the funny thing is, all right, I was in the red 1200. I brought it down to negative 600. Why can't you walk out right there? Why? Why can't? So I was down negative 1200 per account. I brought them down to 600. Why can't you just call it a day? That's technically a great day. I was down $2,200 in the red per account on the stream. I brought myself all the way down to negative 600. Why not call it there? Technically, that's a great day. That's getting yourself out of some decent red. Nope. Wanted to continue, and continuing cost me some evals. And now, like I said, I'm not happy about it, but it's the common theme. It's how do you walk out of that? How do you get yourself to just shut it down? And usually, like I said, I'm good. Usually I've been able to extend my tilt days further and further apart. Not like every week or every 2 weeks. It's a work in progress. You got to walk out. It is okay to have a red day. All right, so we're kind of trying to pump, test. So we had this beautiful bounce from the 850 area, came all the way up to 980, came back, tested the yesterday's or Friday's close area, and now providing the second bounce. So are we creating this bigger picture channel? That's starting to look a little more realistic in terms of what we have for today, right? We came up, we tested the middle of this channel, consolidated there for a little bit, pushed up, rejected, and now it looks like if the bulls are going to ride this, they may have their move to the upside, or the channel fails and we come right back down. Well, still within that 15-minute opening range. Initial breakout was teased. Are we finally going to get that breakout? Channel seems to be holding for now. At least we seem to be in this chart pattern. We saw this price action around the 15-minute opening range breakout, because remember, I mean, everybody's playing a breakout. It's going to fake out, pulled back, and then you get the play. It looks like this is the 15-minute opening range breakout now, playing out. But do me a favor, if you haven't done so, smash that like, smash that subscribe button. Let's see if this 15-minute opening range breakout plays. You need to see the confirmation candle, right? That quick little pop, hold. All right, let me take a look at any news. Still the same thing. U.S. stocks are poised to extend a retreat from an all-time high after the Trump administration amplified its trade war. I'm getting a little mixed messaging. One headline says investors think that Trump is going to drop tariffs or lower tariffs. And on the other hand, I hear doubling down. Now, if they're gonna do it, nasty, right? Similar to what happened on Friday, and this is the range for the rest of the day, and we see 1, 2 potential. This could be the potential test of that, and then we come right back down to the bottom of this. That's nasty. That's why I'm not trusting NASDAQ today, because it's been very range bound after the initial move. You get all excited trying to long here, you get trapped. You have some orb players that already got stopped out here, or praying for dear life that their breakout happens. But if we're going to be stuck in this range for a good part of the rest of the day, then you'll see what we saw Friday, where you see those harsh pullbacks. I mean, Friday we saw crazy price action. Today it's a lot slower. Manny Trends, you got your trade. Nice. If you're just tuning in so far, one and done trade, got my 25 points around the open. Looking for the extremes of this $800 to $23,000. Why do I say dollar? 23,000 range. Potential shorting this area, longing this area, depending on price action. But not interested in scalps in the middle. I'm not fiddling in the middle until I see the extremes, if we see the extremes. But in the meantime, you guys can do me a favor. If you're enjoying the content, only if you're enjoying the content, do me a favor, smash that like. Helps me out with the YouTube algo. Monday, no catalyst, no news, so probably not going to get too much price action. We're stuck in it's a decent range, 126 points for your 15-minute opening range, but pretty stagnant. I thought Friday, after Friday's price action, I thought volatility was going to be back. I thought that was the catalyst. All right, back to 20, 30 point 1 minute candles. This is what I like. Nope. Manny, good luck, brother. I only want green for all of you guys, so good luck. All right, so the adjustment on this ascending channel, we're using the bottom of that channel that's been consolidating, similar to what happened here with the middle of this channel. That's strong bullish behavior when you see the ascending consolidation on an ascending channel. See if the bulls push this further. They still got to push above the 15-minute opening range. If they do it dirty like they've done it so far, you'll see a push, hovering, and then broop. If they do it the way they're supposed to, clean movements, then you'll see the push and the continuation. Are they looking for that breakout today above 23,000 and hold up there? That'll be interesting. Looking like it's starting a little grind to the upside. It's a little price action that's deceiving. And it just continues to grind on you. But bulls stair step it. Bears take the elevator down. Manny Trends, hey JC, here is a challenge. My plan was to buy 62.70. Oh, you're talking ES, right? Took the short. Short works, false positive are tough in reconcile and trading. It's true. You know, it's funny. I know a lot of personal friends that trade ES. I have not been able to trade ES. Maybe I should rephrase that. I've traded ES, and I've similar strategy to what I use in NQ, and same thing. Consistently, at least over time, as long as I don't do anything crazy in the green, it's just I don't like how slow and how much leverage you need to get something that's worth dollars wise. But ES moves cleaner. You don't have so many of those crazy wicks to stop people out, or the craziness that NQ does. I prefer NQ for whatever reason. And it's funny, you'll find people that will only trade ES. They can't handle or don't like the volatility with NQ, and vice versa. Some people that trade NQ, you can't go back to ES. It just moves too slow. Not that NQ is moving fast right now, but that's why trading is so personality based. You know, you could watch a very, let's say there's someone on YouTube that has a 99% win rate and, you know, crazy trader. You could watch them, but you're still going to change that strategy based on your personality. Unless you're just watching that stream and following the trades just blindly because, you know, the win rate is so insane that you don't need to put your personality into it. But the minute you walk off that stream, you're going to still apply your personality to that strategy. That's why, you know, sometimes I get messages, hey, what's your strategy? Can you spend some time with me over the phone or something? I'm like, listen, you're going to change it either way based on your personality. Trading is so personality based. The way you trade is you. You're never going to be able to change it. You can take an ICT course. You can take, you know, all these different strategies out there, but at the end of the day, you're still going to adapt it to your style. You're still going to choose ES over NQ based on your personality. And there's very minimal chance, unless you're having a huge failure rate, for you to change from ES to NQ or NQ to ES. I think Manny just summed it up pretty nicely. Pick your poison at that point. We're all addicted to this. I don't care. There is no logical sense or reason for anyone outside of trading to understand how you can take a brutal loss, let's say on a Friday, be stuck thinking about it on Saturday and Sunday, and come back Monday ready to do it again, right? It's a specific personality that we all have something in common. I think it's addiction, no matter how much we try to say it's not. But there is, I think, an addictive personality trait to trading, whether it's stocks, options, NQ. There is no listen, I have friends outside of trading, and they're like, what? You took that much and you came back on Monday? I would have given up and probably closed shop. Probably the right thing to do. But it's all personality based. There's a certain personality that falls into trading. You just can't change that. That's why there's a 99%, whatever the number is, it's 99 or 95% failure rate in day trading. Because if you don't fall into that personality, you're just not going to make it. You just won't. That's how trading works. So yeah, we're part of a certain type of personality that just comes back for more punishment every time you have a bad loss day. But that's what makes us special, guys. That's we come back. We don't quit. And the 95% of traders who fail, to be honest with you, is because they actually quit. They realize this is not for me. And there's nothing wrong with that. I would never criticize somebody who quits trading, because I understand. I know this to a T. Trading is personality based. Your trading style is always going to be on your personality. You just won't. If you're a profitable trader, you have a trading style that you've developed based on years, months, you've picked up a little bit from this guy, or a little bit from this course, a little bit from this style. But at the end of the day, you still modified that trading strategy to your personality. Otherwise, every ICT trader would win. Every orb breaker every opening range breakout player would win. The win rates are still, 50, 60, 70%, because you still adapt based on personality. So if anybody's new to trading, listening out there and listening to me yapping away while NQ does nothing, it's finding your style. It could be ICT. It could be the 50-minute opening range breakout. It could be scalping. But you got to find what strategy works with you, doesn't drive you crazy, doesn't stress you out, because this is a mental game, man. Trading isn't easy. We've all been on those major red days that you close everything up and you're lying down in the couch, you're lying down in bed, and you're literally staring at the ceiling. What did I just do today? Trading is not easy. But you gotta find what works for you long term. I've found something that got me payouts, works for my strategy. I'm not a smart guy. I try to find something that's very basic that works. And it's brought decent extra income. Could there be a better strategy? Absolutely. Are there worse strategies? Absolutely. But you got to find what works for you. Some people are very analytical, very technical. I'm not a technical trader by any means. I wish I could take the time to learn ICT and some of the fair value gap strategies. I got nothing against ICT. I don't think it's the best strategy. I'm sorry. I don't think it's the only winning strategy, but I do think ICT has winning strategies that if you take the time to learn the technical components of that and adapt it to maybe scalping or adapt it to certain price action, you'll have a nice win rate. I don't bash any trading style or any strategy, because at the end of the day, you have to still adapt it to you. Same thing with the whole ES NQ conversation. Some people will trade NQ only. Some people won't even touch futures, right? Anyways, I'm yapping away here, hoping that NQ moves, but it is within that range, within that channel. It's the learning to play the chart. A long entry at the bottom of this golden entry, right? Until it breaks out, you get out. It's one thing to draw the thing, it's another thing to actually trade it. And I came very close to long in this, based on the test of this channel. Shoulda, woulda, coulda, doesn't count though. If there's one thing that I wish, and maybe over time, if I can learn more of the technical aspects of ICT, it just sounds cumbersome. It just sounds like, damn, I'm gonna have to literally sit there in a chart. My strategy is so simple, so quick, and it's been working. It's been getting me payouts. I'm profitable with it, even with blown accounts and all that. But I do see, for stronger, longer plays, I've seen how ICT fair value gaps do provide an edge, but you got to have that mindset. You got to have that technical, nerdy, engineering type of approach to it, which I think over time I'm going to have to eventually take the time to learn it as a second strategy, as maybe that's how I swing trade my personal account. Because there's also not only one strategy. Someone asked me, you use the 20 and the 200 SMA, is that your only strategy? No. And you shouldn't have only one strategy. Every market conditions change. Market can get you in a 1 week or 2 week winning streak because your strategy is working. Then all of a sudden the market shifts and your strategy is failing day after day. And that's when you blow. That's why usually in trading, you got 1, 2 weeks, you're in the green, your strategy is working, and then one day the market shifts and you blow it all. And you're like scratching your head, how did I just blow everything in one day? What did I just do? You're relying on that same strategy. It's not going to work every single time. You have to have different little tools in your arsenal, because maybe it's switching to scalping only. Maybe it's channel trading like we're seeing right now is what you should be doing. So you got to learn to adapt and have different strategies. Yes, I use the 20 and the 200, but lately my 20 and 200, the 20 hasn't really even been tested in most of the plays. I've been using the 9 lately because it's scalper's paradise. The 9 EMA is scalping tool. Until we get out of that, where I can come back confidently to the 20 and the 200, I'm going to be scalping the 9. That's what I did today, and I've been doing it all week or 2 weeks now. Pivot points. Pivot points are a golden strategy. You can always use a pivot point for a reversal, tight stop. If they're going to exaggerate the flush above or below, then your stop is there. Most of the time, we saw it today, this was a pivot point bounce. Played to the T. Because I got wrecked on Friday, I still had PTSD from long in here, but that's another part of it. You have to do that trade every single time, win, lose, or draw. As long as it's a 60-70% win rate, you'll lose. Friday I lost, big deal. Today I would have been the hero long in that area. Manny brings up a good point. JC, I've been trading for some time. I am trading things today I learned 10 years ago and trading things I learned last year. Stay curious about other strategies. Add what works, and throw out what doesn't. Very true. Oh, I'm a sponge when it comes to strategies. I want to look at them. I want to see what works, what doesn't, adapt it, leave it alone. Peter, I watch the 5, the 15, and the 30-minute in my TradingView charts. Oh, man. So to give you an idea of my messy charts, this is where most of my decisions happen. 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute. Those have 20, 200 SMA, VWAP, pivot points, and support resistance areas. The funny thing is, I know some real traders, professional traders, traders that work for trading firms here in Arizona. And most of these firms do high frequency trading, whether it's algo driven or manual. I had the chance to intern at one of these firms for a couple weeks and watched how they trade. They don't do any of this nonsense. They're high frequency trading, high leverage, 10, 20 minis, and in for 3-4 point scalps over and over again. I mean, in a 5-minute time frame, they could have been in and out 30-40 trades going after quick high frequency trading. That's why prop firms, a lot of prop firms, especially the smaller ones, will ban high frequency trading because, number one, they identify professional traders. Most of the traders that I know that are trading prop firms successfully, that come from the professional side, are high frequency. They're in and out, in and out, in and out. And prop firms don't like that. That's why you see, I'm not going to mention names, ban or put stops on or put rules on high frequency trading or micro scalping, because it is very profitable, very effective if you know how to do that. For instance, Peter, who, if you guys are interested in watching a good video, Peter Chan, who's here in the chat, published a video over the weekend on his payout that was denied by Top 1 Futures for holding trades under 10 seconds, micro scalping, high frequency trading. That's a good watch and a good warning on what Top 1 Futures does for trades held less than 10 seconds. It reminds me of the early days of Tick Trader, where you had the same issue. They had rules against micro scalping or holding trades less than 10 seconds. It's because of that. Professional traders, high frequency trading with algos or automated, very successful. All right, so looks like we're grinding up, coming back and testing the channel, and then grinding up. This would have been a nice the test of the consolidation area. In other words, we had a little consolidation area, we broke out, came back and tested, and again, it's one thing to draw the channel, it's another thing to actually take the trade. This was the trade for this little long. Yeah, top one futures. Should I say this live? Let me just put it this way. I don't trade them. I don't like their rules. I don't like some of the things that I've seen on social media and or Discord. For now, I stay away from top one futures. That's my personal opinion. I'm not a financial analyst. This is for entertainment purposes only. Yeah, Peter, I watched the video, and it's a good watch for anybody who, either later in the day or during the week. You definitely proved that you weren't involved in that high-frequency trading. But that is the reason, outside of, Peter Chan's case, just in general, why prop firms have rules against micro scalping or trades held less than 10 seconds. It is very profitable. It's usually trading strategies that come from the professional brokerage world. Algobox. Do I think Topstep is going under? I think they made it very difficult for themselves. So I think it's a genius move. It could be a genius move. So here's what Topstep is doing. Topstep is becoming a brokerage, right? They're going to be the prop firm. They're going to have the trading platform, Topstep X, and the brokerage firm down the road. So they're full circle. Topstep's biggest issue is losing traders to our world, the diversified traders, the traders that have accounts with Apex, that have accounts with Topstep, Take Profit Trader, and we're all diversified, and Topstep has a small portion of that pie. What Topstep is saying, you know what? We're going to go the Topstep X route. Whoever wants to come with us, we'll grow with them. And that is the only option. The Topstep has great marketing, and they've even said it. The percentage of traders on Topstep X in the last year, in other words, newer traders, they're on Topstep X, they love it. They're newer traders, they're drinking the Topstep Kool-Aid. So I don't see how those traders, if Topstep can limit them from jumping off, in other words, going to Apex, going to Take Profit Trader, and being the diversified trader we've all become, Topstep just made a genius move. They're going to lock that trader moving forward. They're going to say, hey, not only do you have Topstep X, you got your prop firm accounts with us, and look at this platform. It does everything for you. Now, hey, you're a great trader. Have you thought about investing $10,000, $15,000 in Topstep brokerage? So it's genius in that sense. It's a long-term play. They are sacrificing, I think they are sacrificing the diversified trader or the trader who wants to trade on Quantower, on Tradeivate. They're just saying, you guys are jumping all over the place anyways. Who cares? We don't even have you as a loyal customer anyways. We're just going to go with the Kool-Aid traders moving forward. So it's genius in that sense, right? Do you want to battle against, does Topstep need to battle against Apex, Take Profit Trade, all these 20 prop firms that are out there? Or do they want to start seeding the noobs, new traders, to just follow the marketing path of Topstep? Don't jump off. We got you. We got your platform. Look, it's slick. It does everything you need to do, quote unquote. And now you can put your hard-earned income, $10,000 plus, in a brokerage and trade live. I think it's genius. It will cost them a lot of trade. I'm not going to Topstep. I don't trade on Topstep X, but I haven't traded on Topstep X for a while. But it's a long-term strategy that I think is actually genius. They've lost, and technically, did they lose? Did they lose anybody by saying Topstep X is the only platform you can use. No, most of us don't trade Topstep X anyways. I won't trade Topstep X. I probably won't trade Topstep for a while until something really crazy happens over there. You're like, yeah, I got to hop on the Topstep X bandwagon. Number one, it's a white label version of Project X. I've said it in some of my other videos. Project X, there is a rumor. I'm going to clarify. I don't want to get stuck with defamation lawsuit. There is a rumor. There are comments made on social media that Project X has a data sharing component because multiple prop firms use Project X, right? For instance, Trade Day X is a private label version of Project X. Topstep X is a private label version of Project X. Tick Trader has Project X. Day Traders, I believe, now has Project X. There is a data sharing component on the back end where Project X will share your trading data with prop firms that use Project X. That's a huge red flag for me. Again, that is rumor, that is comments, but I'll leave it at that. Do your own research. Also, the undisclosed rumor out there that Topstep owns Project X. Matt Leach, My Funded Futures CEO, even questioned it. Let me see if I find that X post. Matt Leach, the CEO of My Funded Futures, flat out said, Topstep, when are you going to accept that you guys own Project X? Crickets. While NASDAQ continues to grind up, let's see if I can find that little tidbit for you guys. I did find it. Here we go. So, Matt Leach. Now that Topstep has officially dropped Tradeify, will Topstep finally reveal they own Project X? This is from a CEO. This is the CEO of My Funded Futures on X questioning it. So it's not that I'm spreading rumors. Again, just for the legality of it, I do not know that. I am basing this conversation on this post from a CEO of a rival futures prop firm. There was a comment afterwards. This was pretty cool, where Michael Patak apparently acknowledged it. Sage Trades, tell the people that you own Project X to Michael. Why hide the fact? And then someone responded, you okay? I mean, you keep asking like it's a crime. Most people on Topstep know that when it was introduced. In other words, insinuating that Topstep owns Project X. What did Michael Patak respond? Well said. Was that a casual acknowledgement that they own Project X? I don't know. But anyways, you guys know I love Quantower. Not to say I don't like Tradeify. I should say I love Tradeify. The only issue I have with Tradeify is I can't copy trade multiple props on Tradeify. I have to use Ninja and Replicanto. Ninja and Replicanto has a limitation that you can only trade one rhythmic connection. So for me, Quantower, which is what you see here, I copy trade some props on Quantower directly, and then I have my master feeding into Tradesyncer. Tradesyncer, deal breaker for me. You can trade rhythmic and Tradeify virtually through Tradesyncer using your master from Quantower. Tradesyncer also, you don't have to install it on your PC. You don't have to add more CPU resources to your computer. That's all cloud-based, web-based and it does the trades that way. All right, guys, I think I got into my rants here. Hopefully I didn't get myself into any legalities. Looks like it's a one and done trade. Quick little 25-point scalp today with the mini, and I'm walking out. Do appreciate everybody who tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. If you haven't done so, if you've enjoyed my rants and my opinions today, only if you've enjoyed it, and do me a favor, smash that like, smash that subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow, 9:15 a.m. Eastern, ready to do it again, because that's what we do. Appreciate you all, and I will see you tomorrow.